We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some news regarding Drew McIntyre's return to WWE, which occurred at the 2022 Royal Rumble pay-per-view during the men's Royal Rumble match, with McIntyre joining the match as a true surprise entrant, because as many of you are likely well aware, Drew McIntyre had been dealing with a neck injury and was rumored to be out of action from WWE for quite some time, so Drew's return at the Royal Rumble was even more surprising with that being said. According to one of our sources, Drew McIntyre himself was the one who made the decision to have his return at the 2022 Royal Rumble, and after Drew made the call that he was ready and able to come back to WWE at the big pay-per-view, the company then kept Drew McIntyre's return a secret behind the scenes, with Drew McIntyre reportedly being hidden backstage up until his entrance in the men's Royal Rumble match. Now, when Drew McIntyre entered the Royal Rumble match, many fans felt like Drew would be a favorite to potentially win the match for the second time in his career, but at the end of the day, WWE decided to instead go with Brock Lesnar winning the match, which disappointed some of Drew McIntyre's fans. However, the future of Drew McIntyre on SmackDown is still definitely bright, despite not winning the Royal Rumble match. And it is great news that he will be able to be back on television leading up to WrestleMania 38, because while McIntyre may not be involved in the Universal Championship scene going into WrestleMania this year, with WWE having other plans for that title, Drew will certainly still be involved in a big-time match for the Showcase of the Immortals this year, and likely begin feuding for the Universal Championship after WrestleMania is over and done with, so there's definitely still big things in store for Drew McIntyre this year in WWE. We now have some very noteworthy and worthwhile news regarding former Universal Champion Goldberg. Now, according to a new Backstage report, Goldberg is reportedly planned to be returning to WWE soon for yet another match, with one source revealing that Vince McMahon and WWE are planning for Goldberg to come back and challenge for Roman Reigns' Universal Championship at the upcoming Elimination Chamber 2022 pay-per-view event, which will be taking place a couple weeks from now on February 19th. As many of you are well aware, WWE had originally planned for Goldberg and Roman Reigns to face off against each other for the Universal Championship no less at WrestleMania a couple years ago, but because of the worldwide health situation, Roman was pulled from WrestleMania 36, and WWE instead went with Goldberg versus Braun Strowman for the championship. But it was reported at the time, just like it is right now, that WWE have wanted to rebook that Reigns and Goldberg clash, and it appears as though we will be getting that match in the very near future, again likely this month at Elimination Chamber 2022. It was reported a while back that Goldberg has one final match left on his current WWE contract, so this upcoming rumored Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns will likely be Goldberg's last official match on this current deal with WWE, but given Goldberg's star power and overall big name, it would not be surprising at all if WWE decide to try and re-sign or extend Goldberg's contract for a few more matches. Now honestly, it is doubtful that WWE would book Roman Reigns to lose the Universal title to a short-term rival like Goldberg at Elimination Chamber, especially so close to WrestleMania 38, and because of Roman's historic title run, but we are seemingly finally getting that Roman Reigns vs Goldberg match soon nonetheless, and let us know if you guys are excited that Goldberg and Roman Reigns will finally be facing off against each other in a big title match. And if you were in charge of the booking, would you book Roman Reigns to retain the Universal Championship against Goldberg, or have a shock title change occur with Goldberg winning the Universal title going into WrestleMania season? Let us know. Now, it was reported a while back that there was some tension or backstage heat between the current Universal Champion Roman Reigns and former Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle, and with the latest news and rumors revealed, it's clear that Riddle's and Roman Reigns' heat with each other behind the scenes in WWE is much more serious or intense than originally thought. Now, the whole backstage heat between Riddle and Roman Reigns originally started when Riddle had talked about Roman Reigns in a pretty negative light on an interview, with Riddle basically saying that he could defeat Roman Reigns in a real unscripted match, and that Roman's whole gimmick of being the top star in WWE is untrue, and that he's just related to The Rock, something that not surprisingly upset Roman Reigns quite a bit and led to the tension backstage, as this can easily be taken as a form of disrespect on Riddle's part towards Roman Reigns, who is an established locker room leader in WWE and the top star in the company currently. Recently, Riddle revealed that he had sent the tribal chief Roman Reigns an apology with the help of his tag team partner Randy Orton, but this apology was rejected by Roman Reigns, indicating that the backstage heat between Roman Reigns and Riddle is still very much a thing in WWE behind the scenes. Clearly, Roman is not a fan of Riddle whatsoever after the comments Riddle made on that interview a while back, and an apology is clearly not going to fix things with Roman at this point. One of the biggest wrestling news stories recently is definitely regarding Shane McMahon's sudden and shocking release from WWE, which was reported a couple of days ago. And not surprisingly, since Shane McMahon's release, there have been a ton of rumors and speculation regarding Shane McMahon's next move in wrestling, and if he could be joining the WWE's competition AEW soon. While it does seem a bit far-fetched to imagine Vince McMahon's own son Shane making the move to join All Elite Wrestling, clearly these rumors are bothering WWE enough, with one of our sources revealing that some within WWE are wanting Tony Khan to be warned not to work with Shane McMahon, because Shane would be even worse working for AEW compared to WWE, when it comes to his entitlement and ego, which was apparently pretty bad in WWE, and would be even worse in any other company not named WWE, including AEW. Now again, the chances of Shane McMahon joining AEW in the near future do seem very slim, but crazier things have happened in the world of wrestling in the past, with Shane McMahon's release from WWE arguably being one of those crazy, unexpected moments. So perhaps Shane will shock the wrestling world and work with All Elite Wrestling in the future, though time will only tell. Now we have some rather unfortunate news to share regarding the former WWE champion Big E, and more so Big E's low chances of winning back a world championship in WWE anytime soon. While some fans viewed Big E's WWE title run on Raw last year to be a success, it's evident that Vince McMahon and other backstage WWE officials feel very differently, and one reason for that is because of WWE reportedly moving Big E back to the SmackDown brand recently, to be a part of the New Day faction once again with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. It has been reported by one of our sources that Big E's major push as a single star in WWE has effectively ended, and that there are basically no plans of Big E being pushed as a world title contender again anytime soon in WWE, which is definitely unfortunate, as Big E did prove he could handle being at the top of the card on Raw, and he could be a great challenger for Roman's Universal Championship with the right booking, but that does not appear to be in the plans in the near future.